G'day Bomber fans. Well, last year it was a dream come true for us wanting more small forward excitement for the future. The NGA rules coincidentally loosened just when it suited us most. We picked up Isaac Kako and also Jaden Newen from our Next Generation Academy. But that isn't the last of it, and it might not be the best of it, because in 2025 there are even more young, exciting prospects, and I'm going to keep you updated with them now. Today I'm simply going to go through the NGA and father-son options linked to the Bombers this year. I've talked to members and figures at the Calder Cannons. I've got their opinions. I've spoken to those who know the draft very well and people who know their footy very well. And after these conversations and watching the Cannons for the first time on the weekend, well, let me tell you, the AFL niced us by changing those NGA rules. There are some very exciting players for us to get first choice of this year. So let's go through all the kids linked to the club through Academy and Father-Son rules in the upcoming draft. Starting with the main one, Hussein Elkar. So I talked about him on the channel last year in these videos. I did these videos last year a little bit. I'll be doing them more often this year because we've got some good players to look forward to. And yeah, I mean, this one, there was buzz around him last year. There is now, the buzz has doubled. The buzz is buzzing. There is buzz. I said I spoke to members at the Calder Cannons. I spoke to them before the game on the weekend, and they had me pretty hyped about what he was going to be. But since then, I've spoken to some draft gurus, some footy experts, and I mean, even just listening to Cal Toomey talk about him, there's a growing expectation that this guy's going to get drafted. Cal Toomey said he was going to be he was top 20 at the moment, possibly, or that's where he could end up, and that's not a reach if you saw him play on the weekend. But I mean, even the fact that some experts are, near certain that he'll go in the draft, it might not sound like much, but to be near certain at this time of the year, it shows that this is a player, or he could be a player. We don't want to put too much pressure on him. He's just a kid. He's having fun playing footy, but there's talent. He looks great. He's a small forward, very small forward, 171 centimeters, so he's even smaller than Isaac Kako. But he's that Nick Watson type who uses that height to his advantage, or the lack of height to his advantage. His ground game is fantastic. His center of gravity makes him near impossible to tackle at times. He's got real serious pace, and he's actually, strong for his size as well. He can hold his own in the contest. He's very good in front of the sticks. He's always involved. He's always hitting the scoreboard. Kicked 4 on the weekend. I mean, yeah, it could be 2 small forwards through our NGA 2 years in a row. And there's another one I'll be talking of in a second, which will make it even funner. But yeah, that's the feeling I'm getting. I mean, if we won't draft him, someone else will. That's what I've heard a few times. He looks very good, and it's tough to find a range this early, but there is some serious excitement about the way he's playing. Some are saying he's the best small forward in the draft. And again, so early, so much can change, but there is clearly something here. We saw it last year, top 5 in the best and fairest as a bottom ager for Calder Cannons. He's now in the Vic Metro squad for champs. He's a vice captain of the Cannons this year. He played on the weekend against Werribee, as I said, and kicked 4 goals. He could have had more. Yeah, there's a player. I think we're going to be talking about him a lot this year. And the good news is, we have free access to him. Same deal as Kako. All we need to do is match a bid when it comes. We have an eye on him because of this. He's spent time with the club pre-season, even recently. So when you can, keep an eye on this bloke. Go out to the games if you can. Try not to be excited. Not trying to put pressure on him or anything, but the way he's going now, he could easily be another top 20 or 30 pick. I really wouldn't be surprised if that was to happen. He's got some tricks. He's a really fun player. And thinking about him linking up with Kako underneath Caddy, that is fun. Now, Hussein has been on our radar for a while, and I was told before the season started to keep an eye on Adam Suede. I hadn't seen anything from him because he did his ACL in 2023, in July of 2023. So he's been out of action for well over a year. A huge recovery to overcome. Now that he has overcome it, though, we've seen what he can offer. He was genuinely brilliant on the weekend linking up with Hussein. These two have lots in common. They're both smaller forwards, both really quick and creative forward of the ball, both fit into our academy through their Lebanese heritage. There's a few reasons for them to be linking up so well as players, because they're both really energetic and seem to be on the same page a lot of the time. But yeah, against Werribee, Suede, he was running through the midfield and resting forward. He had 25 touches, 5 marks, 4 tackles, 2 goals. He was absolutely everywhere, providing excitement. And that is what we should come to expect. There are already some talking about him being a more exciting prospect than Hussein because of that performance. And I mean, again, I'm going to say this a lot in this video, but it is very early. But yeah, I think the hype around Hussein at the moment is probably bigger because of what he did last season. He's more, I guess, proven because, well, Suede was off the park for a year and a half. But we should really be keeping an eye on this bloke. There was excitement about him in the preseason. Plenty knew he was a very exciting draft prospect, one that could be on an AFL list. But yeah, to see him recover from that long ACL, and also recovering from an ACL is big, right? But doing it from that 16 to 18 range, age, that is a huge chunk of footy that you're missing out on. Those are really important years for development. The difference between those age levels is enormous. So the fact that he came in and looked as good as he did, yeah, this is definitely someone we need to be keeping an eye on. There was real hype about him before the season started from those I spoke to, but that hype looks well and truly justified now. I'm keen to see what more he has to offer. I think, yeah, we're going to be talking about these two players a lot. These are the two that... Yep, but keep an eye on these guys. And the last of the NGA kids before we discuss some father-sons, Tristan Leeds. So he, like Suede, actually did his ACL last year. The year before. He did it in December of 2023. There was a thought that he could have made his debut as a bottom ager if that knee injury didn't occur, but he gets his chance this year in his draft season. He played against Werribee. He was a bit unsighted, and look, to me, that's not an issue at all. Not everyone can come in and get 25-2 in their first game back in over a year and a half or whatever it is. Leeds is someone who I can see taking a few weeks before he, takes those next steps and hits his straps. He's 188 centimetre forward or defender. And look, because we haven't seen him play properly yet, I'm basing this off what those who I spoke to and who have seen him train and play say. But the key words are he's athletic, he's skillful, he's hard-working. So 3 ticks right there. He fits into our NGA because of his Indonesian background, and look, it's tough to say whether or not he'll be drafted. He does have a very long way to go compared to the last two I just spoke of, but yeah, he's in the right place for it. The Cannons have a good squad this year. Hopefully he gets going and starts to give Rosa some headaches. Rosa has 2 NGA kids on his radar right now. If Leeds was to impress, it would be 3, which would be, yeah, a lot to plan. Alex Alessio, familiar name. I spoke about him a lot last year in these videos. He's actually an overager in 2025, so he's turning 19 this year. Last year I talked about the fact that he wasn't quite ready for the draft and wasn't hitting his straps yet, which is, of course, standard for a ruck. Alessio is 2 meters tall. He plays as that ruck or key position forward. He played the 7 matches for the Cannons last year, but he returns this year to try and be picked up after missing the draft last year. There's more of a feeling that he can impress this year compared to last. And look, the club's probably going to need a ruck when Goldie goes. Maybe another, depending on what happens with the out-of-contract Draper and Bryan, and Vicentini, actually. So although Alessio has his back against the wall and hasn't shown as much as others, it's the fact that he's a ruck which has me watching him pretty closely because they're the hardest positions to read this early on in their careers. They can come from anywhere. They can develop really quickly out of nowhere. So yeah, keep an eye on Alessio as he taps to the teammates I just spoke of. And moving away from the cold Cannons, we've got another father-son. And if he was to be drafted, he would be the 3rd son drafted from this former player in, 4 years? I don't know. 2025, 24, 23, 4 years. I'm not good at... Someone let me know down below. Someone get the calculator out and let me know. So Elijah Davey is the 3rd son of Alwyn Sr. The twins, Alwyn Jr. and Jaden, were drafted to the club in 2022. Jaden was delisted last year. Alwyn Jr. remains on the list as we know. Elijah is another small forward because there weren't enough in this video already. He's 173 centimetres tall, a fair bit smaller than his brother. He made his Oakley Chargers debut on the weekend, actually playing against the Cannons, so it was really easy for me to be keeping an eye on all of our linked prospects because they were all playing in the same game. And now Davey is another who has a really long way to go. He enters the season with a lower bar than others. Expectations aren't as high, but he is crafty, silky, he's creative in front of goals, much like his brothers and father, so that's good. A fair bit to look out for here in season 2025. We've got 5 players who could potentially be listed with Essendon, 2 of which in particular are, ones to watch. And we're not done yet, because there are set to be more prospects on the way in the coming years. On screen is a little, taste of what's to come, what we could be looking forward to in 2026. The main ones for me are Olu Olalekin and Blake Justice. Olu is 183 centimetres tall. He's a defender who can play forward of the ball too. Incredible leap, very athletic. He has Nigerian background. He was actually an emergency for the Cannons under-18s game on the weekend, so we might see him link up and make his debut with the NGA kids that I spoke about before. And Blake Justice, he is a 190 centimetre winger, Indonesian background like Tristan Leeds. Justice has an epic name, so, cult figure status, that's a tick. But there's a bit of a vibe about him him potentially being someone to watch for the next year too. Kind of like what we're talking about with Hussein this time last year. So that could be fun. Then we've got guys like Cohen McGrath, the son of Corey. He played for Carlton and Essendon, but he actually qualifies through our NGA because of he's Indigenous, not through father-son rules. So he's in our academy through there. Another forward, there's also Gabriel Tanjata. He's in the back half. Smaller defender, good with his feet. Jad Naim, he's the brother of Amin, who was a member of our academy a couple of years back. And then he was actually, I think he made his VFL debut with Essendon last year from memory. And looking towards the future a little bit more, this is not 2026, but 2027. I just want to mention this because if I don't, I know someone will in the comments. He's not on screen, but Kobe Buick. He's not in next year's draft. He'll be eligible when Tassie start entering in 2027. So it's a good time for that to happen because he's pretty hyped. Those who know Essendon and the draft would know that there's a bit of talk about this guy for the future. He's the son of Darren. Yeah, he's looking very, very good early on into his development, but as we know, lots can change. But yeah, that is that. 2025 draft looks like an exciting one. We've got high picks. We've got promising NGA kids. Yeah, this rebuild is, it's going in the right direction. What you need is a bit of luck sometimes, and it seems we're getting that with some really decent NGA kids. Kako, Newen, potentially Suede and Elkar. I mean, there's a lot to look forward to if you're an Essendon fan. No promises that these guys end up on our list. No promises that they end up on any list. We can't put too much pressure on them this early in their careers, but yeah, I suggest you watch the Calder Cannons if you can. It's, not only just for Essendon's future, but also because it's an exciting team who play some good footy. I had a lot of fun watching that Chargers game on the weekend, and I'll be hopefully getting out to a few games this year when I'm in Melbourne. But that is that. Cheers for watching, guys. I'll keep you updated as the year goes along. Hopefully I'll have some guests on as well to give us more insight into these players. But that is all for now. Cheers for watching. Like, subscribe, and go Bombers.